naturally. I forget. So again, welcome everybody. I see we have so many people tuned in. I'm super excited, humbled, and just blessed to be here with you guys today. So grateful. For like Chantel said, my name is Pam Pacheco. I've been a part of this amazing lifestyle club for the last 6 years. If you're not in our lifestyle club, you're like, what is she talking about? Don't worry. But I've been on a journey of entrepreneurship for a little bit over 6 years. And I remember when I first got started, I thought I was going to just be successful right off the bat, right? I thought that everything was going to be so easy. Everything was just going to be peaches and cream. And little did I know that I actually needed to surround myself around people that were going to stretch my thinking. I needed some type of positivity. And I remember looking forward to morning mentorship calls, so that I can not only get knowledge, but inspiration, right? Because how you start your day sets the tone for your day. So if you start your day positive, you're more than likely going to have a positive day, right? If you start your day grateful, you're more than happy going to just have a blessed day. But yeah, so I'm just here to add some value to you guys, and hopefully by the time you guys get off of here, you'll start your day a little better, and with some fuel, right? With some positivity and with just some inspiration this morning. So like she said, my name is Pam, and guys, what I want to talk to you guys about today, first of all, my heart goes out to everybody dealing with this COVID-19. We are all in this together, right? No, not one person is exempt from this. And my heart goes out to everybody, praying God has a hedge over protection over you, over your families, over your homes, over everything, over your businesses, your finances, everything. And what I want to talk to you guys about today, so I've been reading a new book, and it is called Grit by Angela Patterson. And if you've never heard about Grit, our founder, Wayne Nugent, and Chief Visionary Officer, and Angela Duckworth. I don't know where I got Patterson from. Oh, I do, because I was just talking to somebody. But Angela Lee Duckworth, and Grit is one of those books that, you know, it is, I'm not gonna ruin it, right? And usually when I talk about books, I'll go ahead and I'll kind of give you guys a synopsis, but I'm not done reading this book, right? So I'm just going to talk to you guys about a little bit of what grit is, and just kind of one or two things about it. So grit, and I'm reading my notes, so don't judge me. I'm not that good, okay? So grit, it's about working in something you care about so much that you're willing to stay loyal to it. It's not about falling in love. It's about staying in love. Grit has two components: passion and perseverance. So grit is about working on something you care about so much that you're willing to stay loyal to it. It's not about falling in love. It's about staying in love. Grit has two components: passion and perseverance. So what I want to talk to you guys about, so first of all, right? Passion. Like, how can you find your passion, right? Where does your passion come from? And I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to find your passion, because your passion, it's that strong, like, Merriam-Webster's definition, right? It's a strong and barely controllable emotion. And everybody's passions are different, right? And that's what I love about what we do, because I've seen so many people be able to fuel their passions and take their goals and their dreams and their lives to the next level and be able to bless their family in an incredible way. But I'm not going to tell you what your passion should be, because everybody has their passion. And if you're like, well, how can I find my passion? Think about one thing that you can't stop thinking about, right? Think about that thing that gets you up in the morning before your alarm clock, right? Think about what is that thing that keeps you up at night, that you wake up and you're thinking about it, you're on it all day long. Naturally, that's kind of how you'll find your passion. But what I really want to get into today, it's perseverance, because I believe that each and every single person tuned in has a story of perseverance. And what is perseverance? To persist in pursuit of an undertaking task, journey, or goal, even if hindered by distraction, difficulty, obstacles, or discouragement. They don't have to make you want to quit before you've put in enough time and effort to reach your goal, right? But to persevere is to persist steadfastly in pursuit of an undertaking task. So maybe it's your journey that you're persisting on and you're persevering on. Maybe it's your goal. And it says even you're going to persist towards your dream, towards your goal, even if, I love this, right? Even if hindered by distraction. Can anybody think of a distraction right now that you have going on in your life? Right? I think on a daily, right, we're being faced with, this pandemic. And again, it's not anything lightly, but the media, right? It's distracting. It's distracting you from your goals sometimes, right? All of this chaos, difficulty. Would you say that this has been somehow difficult time? Because I believe that we're all in this together. So if my sister is having a difficult time, that means I'm having a difficult time in some way, shape, or form, right? And it says even discouragement. Has anybody ever felt discouragement in persisting while they're persisting and persevering to their goals? I want you to type 1 in the chat because I want to know if I'm talking to myself, right? Have you ever had any discouragement? Have you ever had any obstacle? Have you ever had any distraction? Have you ever had anything that stood in the way of what you want in life? Yes? Okay, great. I know I'm not in this by myself. So as I was reading, I'm like, what are some things? And I always value the source. And as I was preparing for this call and I'm like thinking of this book and I'm like, man, I don't want to spoil it because I want everybody to read the book themselves, right? But Forbes has a very interesting article by Megan Bruneau, which is one of my favorite writers. And it was talking about the 7 qualities that lead to perseverance when faced with adversity. And I think it's super important for us to know, like, what are some qualities that maybe whether we have those qualities or we can just develop them further, right? Or nurture them. And I'll tell you that it's like why we love this, because personal development, mindset, all of these things, it's like water on ourselves. And this is what allows us to grow. And it's like, if you're not watering a tree, it's not going to grow. Well, that's the same with you as a person, as with you as a leader, with you as a man or as a woman, right? So number 1 quality, the ability to find meaning. The ability to find meaning. So when you experience, or when we experience any type of disappointment, loss, or trauma, finding meaning in our pain helps us accept and integrate what we've gone through. Resilient individuals always trust that there's a gift, there's a lesson or opportunity in every challenging situation. Have you ever heard if it don't kill you, it makes you stronger, right? Think about can anybody here agree that there has been some kind of difficulty that you're like, man, I was able to find a silver lining, right? I was able to find a blessing. Like, even during this pandemic, there has been so many blessings. One of our teammates yesterday said something so powerful on our leadership call. And he said, I believe this pandemic happened because God wanted to slow things down so we can speed up and catch up on our goals, on our dreams. I was mind blown because I felt that, because I know that there's so many people that we have gone through this tough time. And I encourage you, if you have not yet found a meaning, a silver lining in this entire pandemic, and if you have not been able to find it, trust me, there is. Trust me, there is. People are getting closer to their family. People are getting closer to their creator. People are growing themselves. People are accomplishing things in their businesses. People are learning new traits. People are learning new skills. People are growing. People are getting closer to their family. People are spending quality time with the people they love. People are able to just sit still, right? So important. The ability to find meaning. So get into the habit of asking yourself from unwanted experiences, what lesson is in this, right? Something that leaders always ask themselves, like, what lesson is in this? So number 1, the ability to find meaning. Number 2, the ability to be vulnerable, connect, and ask for help. I'm going to tell you, and this is, if anybody knows me, I'm working on asking for help. I'm working on delegating. I am working on being better, because I come from, and again, it comes from like your background too, right? So I come from a single parent household where I saw my mama be mom and dad, right? And it's been a lot of reprogramming myself, and I'm like an independent woman my entire life. So I have to know that it's okay to ask for help, because we're not meant to do life alone, right? And as I've continued to grow as a woman of God, as I've continued to grow as a leader, as a person, I've noticed how important it is to be vulnerable and be able to connect with people and ask for help. Because see, everybody on here has different gifts that I don't have, and vice versa. So being able to ask for help, being able to be vulnerable and connect with each other is going to make us stronger long term, right? So support and connection is essential for surviving during a difficult time. So share, it's okay to share your struggle with people, but at the same time, paint a picture, right? Paint a picture of light. Paint a picture. Let them know, like, yeah, you know what? This is me. However, you know, this is where I'm at, but man, I'm so excited for what's to come, right? And maybe you're at a place that you're like, man, I can't even see. I can't even see out of this thing. So that is why you need to be vulnerable and connect with people, because there's people that were in your same situation, in your same circumstance, that thought they were going to be defeated, that thought that, oh my goodness, I cannot keep going. But because you were able to connect with them, you gave them strength. A lot of times it's not what happens to you, it's what happens through you, right? We give a blessing from a blessing, not for a blessing. So just again, the ability to be vulnerable, connect and ask for help. So it's okay to share what you're going through with people, right? But again, give them a positive perspective, perseverance, looking hopeful, right? So number 3, a supportive relationship with oneself. Man, if you have not read the book, What to Say When You're Talking to Yourself by Dr. Shad Helmstetter, I suggest you read that book. Because see, there is no voice as powerful to your own life like your own. And the majority of words we say all the time are negative. When was the last time you told yourself, I love you? When was the last time you told yourself, I forgive you? Let's go. It's okay, right? And you're probably on here like, yo, she's crazy. Yeah, I am, because I know I used to beat myself up all the time. And there's times that I make mistakes, right? There's times that I wish I would have done things better. And I got to be like, all right, Pam, you know what? Give yourself some grace, right? Have a positive conversation with myself. But a lot of the times, and move forward. But a lot of the times we're unaware that we compound the suffering, and therefore we're going to stall the healing that we deserve because we're beating ourselves up. So give yourself grace in whatever area of your life, whether it's in your health, whether it's in your family, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your career, whether it's in your finances, in your relationships, whatever it is, give yourself some grace, but have a supportive conversation, because your brain, your heart, it listens to your voice more powerful. This is why, like, I have to start my mornings out with me always saying, like, my gratitude statements. Like, I have to write my gratitude statements, because I have to say what I'm thankful for, and then I have to speak life into my life, right? I'm always speaking life into other people's lives, but guess what? You got to fill your cup too, and you have to give yourself some grace, but understand that a supportive relationship with yourself, if you can't love you, you can't love anybody else. And I could talk a whole hour about self-love, but we're gonna move on. So again, a supportive. So get in the habit of saying to yourself what you do to a friend when things don't go your way, right? Remind yourself you're not a robot, you're not an imperfect human, you're an imperfect human being like everyone else, right? And it's okay, but give yourself some grace. Make sure that when you're talking to you, talk to you like you would want anybody else to. And I'm not here to impose my faith or belief upon anybody, but I know he loves you so much What he loves you so much. Love yourself. It's important, okay? Number 4, the ability to surrender and trust in the face of uncertainty. Believing everything is in our control is incredibly stressful, right? Can anybody relate to that? Type 1, if you can relate to that. Believing everything is in your control is so stressful. And I'm telling you, man, you got to give yourself grace and you got to surrender. You have to be able to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to be able to move forward. You have to be able to say, you know what? When you surrender, you're surrendering also the anxiety that's provoking the reality that we have influence over very little in life, because we really don't. And here's some things that you can control, and ask yourself, like, what can I control right now? What's in my control right now? Here's what we can control. We can control what we say, what we do, how we think, what we feel. What we say, what we do, what we think, how we feel. How we feel, what we say, what we do, how we think. Make it a song. Remember yourself. Remind yourself that. I got to remind myself that all the time. Focus on what you can control. Don't let what you can't control you. So again, the ability to surrender and trust in the face of uncertainty. Number 5, a sense of humor. Man, I'm learning this. Can anybody relate? Can anybody relate that you're learning? Like, studies have shown that humor is a form of emotion regulation and coping. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I love watching something funny. I love being around people that make me laugh, right? I love being around, and 9 out of 10 times, the conversations I have on a daily, whether it's with my business partners, with my church family, with my family, it's like I'm always going to spend time on the people on the phone that can make me laugh somehow. Because if anybody knows me, it's like, look, she works super hard, but she's a clown, right? Because you gotta have a sense of humor. You gotta have a sense of humor. Humor is also a way of connecting with other people, right? It's also a way of connecting with other people. You're integrating painful experiences, but finding meaning and developing a narrative for a painful story. And excuse me, it's also a defense mechanism, to be honest with you. So, like, what parts in your life you're like, you know what, I need to just laugh at this. I need to laugh at this because I'm gonna laugh at it now, so that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, we could come back and be like, man, that was funny, right? Like, but you have to develop that sense of humor. Equanimity, sorry. It's defined as mental calmness. And I know Chantel's like, she's a doctor here, not me. Okay. Again, I'm not that smart. It's spelled EQUANIMITY. Equanimity. It's defined as mental calmness, composure, and evenness of temper, especially in a difficult situation. I'm going to tell y'all a secret about Pamela. She works on herself so hard, right? Because, again, coming from a background of how I grew up, you can let your pain be your prison. You can let your past be your prison. And you have to be able to grow and develop. And one of the things that I just love is because it's like, man, like, nothing gives me a peace like him, right? Nothing brings peace over my life. Nothing brings calmness over my spirit. And it's like prayer, meditation, gratitude, whatever it is that you do. But understand that it's like, whenever there is a difficult situation, if you're able to say, hey, let me keep calm. Let me keep calm. Let me keep calm. Like, I've been presented with so many difficulties, and in the middle of the difficulty, and it can be with a person, and that person can be on a whole nother level, and I know me, so I'm like, calm down, right? And I'm talking to myself. That person doesn't know, but I'm like praying, talking to myself, like, yeah, you're great. You're not gonna let this get the best of you. Calm down, because nothing is going to be resolved if you lose it. Nothing. So stay calm. See, that's gonna give you an advantage. That peace. See, you can't give anybody that type of power over you. Whether it's a person, whether it's a situation, whether it's an obstacle, whether it's a circumstance, we cannot give anything else that type of power. So keeping a mental calmness, it's it's going to allow us to practice more mindfulness, to just, like, you know, when like you're playing chess, think before you move, right? So again, just being able to just, okay, I'm gonna think, right? I'm gonna be at peace. I'm gonna calm myself down. Because has anything, if you could think in your life, has anything good been resolved with you not being calm in a situation, in the heat of a moment? No, not at all, right? Super important. I gave y'all a new word for the day, huh? A new word for the week. The ability to cultivate perspective and gratitude is number 7. And it's funny because in this article, she's like, yo, man, one day I was stressing about bills, and I was scrolling through Instagram, and I stumbled across a sobering tribute to 9/11. And it gave me a reality check. And sometimes we need to find perspective and gratitude to get us back on track, right? After being derailed. Because again, if obstacles, circumstances, challenges, it's quickly to be like, oh my God, right? But when you know, like, you know that you're like, okay, well, how can I find some perspective? What are some things that I can be grateful for? See, and I always say your attitude of gratitude is going to determine your altitude, right? And it's going to determine your altitude because you're always going to be at a place of CNI, right? CNEI, constant, never-ending improvement. So knowing that you have to find perspective, you have to be grateful, right? And I'm not going to sit here and telling you like, oh my God, if you're not grateful, you're going to die. No, okay? Give yourself some grace. But what are some things that you can, what are some things, and I'm going to write that. What are some things that you can say, okay, well, I can be grateful regardless of all of this going things. Like even during this pandemic, think of right now, if everybody, right? If everybody on here, there's over a little bit over 50 people in here. If everybody on here right now has been able to find something positive during this pandemic, hit 1. Type 1 in the chat. If you could say, man, I found something to give me a different perspective. I found something to be grateful for. Something positive has came out during the season. Hit 1. And a lot of times we're like, I don't even know if that could happen, right? But we have to catch ourselves in that very moment and say, okay, we don't want to be dismissive of our struggles. However, embrace it. But we want to be able to say, you know what? Self-compassion, but validating what you're going through. But ask yourself, how would the situation be different if I can just be grateful more? Give me a new perspective, renew my mind, right? So the ability to cultivate perspective and gratitude is super important to allow you to persevere. Number 8. No, sorry, those were 7. So again, the 7 qualities that lead to perseverance when faced with adversity. Number 1, the ability to find meaning. Number 2, the ability to be vulnerable, connect, and ask for help. Number 3, a supportive relationship with oneself. Love yourself. Number 4, the ability to surrender and trust in the face of uncertainty. Number 5, a sense of humor. Number 6, equanimity. Ooh, I said it right, I think. Okay. Again, Chantel's laughing at me. Equanimity. Did I say that right? Somebody? Okay. Again, mental calmness, right? Number 7, the ability to cultivate perspective and gratitude. And these are some things, and I'm going to tell you some things that I was like, okay, well, how can I, those are abilities, but how can I, what can I tell myself on a daily so that I can keep persisting and persevering? Like, what is something that, that you can do? And it's like, when you're persevering, something that helps me all the time is keeping my goal visible at all times, literally keeping my goal, whether it's on my phone, whether it's on my bathroom mirror, whether it's on your refrigerator, whatever, but plant the seeds of success in your mind. Okay. And then when you plant those seeds of success in your mind, you focus your attention on the things that will help you achieve your goal. Okay. So keep your goal visible. Definitely something that helps. Again, worry wrecks your focus. Everyone worries, but the trick is to minimize the time between your first worry thought and your first action to attack it. Again, the trick is to minimize the time between your first worried thought and the first action to attack it. Remember that much of the worry is just based on your concerns in your mind and not really the reality. Again, going back to the 7 abilities, giving yourself a fresh perspective, right? Being grateful. Number 3, tame your technology. And I know somebody's like, what's she talking about? Yo, I'm telling you, like Instagram, social media, it's become shell media. Like, be careful, because a lot of times people ain't posting what they really going through. People are giving us highlights. Okay, people are not posting their failures, but understand, not everybody posts what they post to be. Okay, pun intended, right? So tame your technology, minimize your time on social media, right? Minimize your time on, comparing yourself to other people's lives. Minimize your time, because a lot of times you looking at other people's plate and you letting your food get cold. I'm just saying. So tame your technology. And then building your competence in the way that preparing for what's to come. Balance your focus on the task at hand with preparation for the next step. It's super important, and create it and use it, right? But use it many times. So if you have something that you're like, okay, well, I need to create a checklist for what it is that I'm going to do. Create a checklist, and there's no need to reinvent the wheel every time you conduct or doing something for yourself. But just understand, it's like keeping yourself on task. It's like you got to do a checklist. Like I do a power list, whether I'm typing it on my phone from the day before, and I'm like, okay, these are 5 things that are like, I got to do today. 5 things that I got to do today, right? So this is how I'm going to win the day. But give yourself a task. Give yourself a checklist. It's going to help you. So, guys, that's it for today. I hope this was good for you guys. Hope you guys got some great value. As always, we look forward to just spending some time with you. I pray that you guys have an amazing, amazing, amazing day. Blessings on blessings on blessings. Thank you guys so much for joining on. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to everybody that's on here. And I